guys, what's going on? David Siteman Garland, welcome to another DSG TV in the office today. And, I've been getting a lot of sort of personal questions. People asking a lot about things that I've tried or experimented with the Rise to the Top over the years and stuff that's worked and hasn't, and some of the key questions. And something that came up the other night, actually, believe it or not, I was at a speaking event, and I was giving a speech. I thought it was such a great question. It came from an audience, and I know a lot of people have this. And they were saying, David, you talk about kind of the big numbers now and how the Rise to the Top's doing and things you've tried over time and that have worked and haven't worked. But I'm curious, when you first started in, October 2008 and the site first just went live, how did you get those first 100 fans? How did I go about getting those first 100 fans? So let's talk about that for a second. Now, you got to realize when I started the Rise to the Top, I didn't have any background where I would have a fan base that already existed. It's not like I came from traditional media. It's not like I came from some, other place where, I had some kind of fan base or audience established. I mean, I had literally zero fan base when I started the Rise to the Top. And I can tell you right now, the first few episodes and things like that went up online, I'm pretty sure that the audience was me hitting refresh like 7 times. This would be like 7 views. And my mom would be view number 8, and my dad would be like view number 9. So that when we first started, there wasn't much in terms of a fan base. Now, I want to tell you exactly what I did and, how I got started then back in 2008. So first and foremost, what I did was I leveraged anyone that I already knew. I don't care what my connection was to them or whatever, but if I knew them, I let them know about the show. So, for example, let's start with social media. Just kind of my existing network on Facebook from college and after college and stuff like that. I said, hey, I've got a new show coming out. It's called The Rise to the Top. Here's the link. I've got a new show. Here it is, The Rise to the Top. Check it out. Twitter was getting started in 2008. I didn't have much of a following, but I said the same thing. So I used the social networks. I sent an email out to family and friends. I mean, literally, this is how I started. I sent an email out and I said, hey, guys, I got a new show. I've got an interview with this guy who has this cool bar in St. Louis. That was my first interview. It was with a bar owner in St. Louis. He tells us the story, how he got started. It's interesting. Here's the link. Check it out. Now, the other thing that I did, and this was my quote-unquote unfair advantage when I started, and I put that in quotes because it was just ridiculous. But in 2008, the Rise to the Top not only was a website, but also I had a local television show in St. Louis. And what I did was I approached the stations and I literally took my savings and bought airtime. So I bought, airtime from the stations, hired a studio and freelancers to help put a show together and aired it up on TV. So TV, local television, even though we didn't have the greatest time slots when we started or anything like that, also drew some people to the website as well. Now, here's the key, though, to keep in mind and sort of where there was a key point in the story was that when people came to the website, okay, it's not like they just came and I was hoping, that they'd stay or whatever. I made sure that there was good content up there, right? Like, meaning it goes without saying that you could get people to your site, but do you have good content, that keeps them there, if you will, on your website? So, yes, content was key because I was thinking, okay, if they like it, they're going to come back. They're going to subscribe. They're going to come back. And so what ended up happening is after this kind of rinse, wash, and repeat method is I started to get a couple comments, right? So I get, a comment or an email or something like that from someone said they enjoyed the show, they had a question, etc. And I spent tons of time responding as much as I possibly could to these people. Like if you sent me an email in the early days, 2008, 2009, you'd probably get War and Peace back because I was so excited to get an email. I'd be like answering all these questions and telling you my life story. I mean, it's like psycho stuff, right? But that's how you start to build and get to know people. And if someone emailed me or left a comment, I'd go to their site and see what they were up to and get to know them a little bit. So, as we got started, then our 5 fans became 10 fans. And then people started sharing it a little bit with other people. And that became 20 fans. And this is before I even put marketing juice or learned a lot of things about how to market this in front of us. This was just basing it off of kind of friends, family, and sort of like peripheral network, because you never know who's going to be a fan of your content and who's going to end up sharing it. So I want to let you guys know about this. This is like kind of my upfront story of the way that the Rise to Top got started and how I kind of quote unquote cultivated or was discovered by those first 100 fans. And many of those fans, by the way, are still fans here today in 2013. So I hope you enjoyed this. And by the way, let me know below in the comments, do you like this kind of like personal video? Because I got lots of interesting stories I can share with you guys across the board. And I'm happy to answer anything and being 1,000,000,000% transparent with it. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like videos like these and you want videos like this to your inbox, and you also want to get the Rise to Top episodes, you know, where I interview an awesome mediapreneur, interesting person to find out their story and their advice and all that kind of jazz, the email box for the Rise VIP email list is coming up here in a second. Hope you'll join up. See ya.